Hey everyone, welcome back. We are going to be talking about the best practices for buttons. Now, buttons are a really important part of your UI. Probably one of the most important parts of any UI. They're not only used for forms, but can be used to link users to other parts of the site or within the same page. We should treat buttons like these with a lot of care, and I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do to make your buttons that much better. So let's jump in. Number one. Use descriptive or action-based words, or at least try to. Buttons should describe the action you want the user to take. I think submit and cancel they're okay in most technical applications, but they usually feel too dry or generic. Consider using words like sign up or send information or create account. This also helps you emphasize the value of completing a certain action. We want our users to keep motivated. And a way we can do that is to remind the user of the benefits with completing the flow. So in this option here, I just switched it to create account, and it's so much more better than submit. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Consider doing your best to write in the first person. The button is that final interaction that takes a user elsewhere. Try making it personable. It has been proven that buttons that use words like I, me, or my have higher conversion rates. Instead of sign up, maybe try something like create my account. A little trick I use is that whatever the copy is in the button, I will precede that by I want to, so it makes grammatical sense. I want to create my account. So I want to create my account. It adds a little bit of personality to those buttons. On to the next one. Okay, we talked about this a little bit, but you need to differentiate between primary and secondary buttons, and maybe even tertiary buttons. We won't go too deep there right now. You may need to use two buttons at certain points. It happens quite a lot, and you should come up with a primary and secondary button that are easily distinguishable. The rule is that buttons that function differently should appear differently. Remember to make the primary button that should take the user to the expected path, that should be much more prominent. When a user is on mobile, you should probably make buttons easily tappable as well. So I'm thinking 40 to 48 pixels is a really good height for a button, especially if you're using like a base unit of 8. So if we take a look at this option, we have submit and cancel both as a primary button, and then the difference is actually quite large. The user really knows what they're going to be clicking on. Okay, now the last thing I do want to touch upon is the disabled state. Now, you need to consider having a disabled button for your user. A disabled button could really help, just to backpedal a bit, a disabled button is good for cases where a user can't progress unless they fill out all required fields. So it can really, really help tell a user that, hey, you need to fill out some stuff here. So this is like a flow where, they haven't filled out their password and then they can't sign in. It's just that simple. Whereas here, they filled out everything. They even clicked this little checkbox and boom, they are ready to sign in. So those are the best practices for buttons.